Good afternoon, hello, my name is Daniel, this is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. I can't quite believe I'm saying this. I'm in an elite first, second and third cat crit. Now this is not a proper elite crit. The majority of riders in this race aren't elite riders, but they are very good and definitely a lot better than me. Some of them are elite though. Now this is my second race of this day. I've just raced the third and fourth cat and finished half an hour before this race started. So I'm not feeling the freshest, but I absolutely want to get stuck into this race. I'm feeling very grateful to be able to be back on a bike after a period of injury, and I just want to get stuck in. Now this is alarming me. That guy's just dotted through, zigzagged out and gone off the front. That is concerning if this is how this race is going to go. Now our plan for this race is just to try and survive as long as possible. I don't actually think that I'm going to get around this race when I start it, but I'm going to give it everything I can. That's Adam Kenway on the left hand side there on the BCC kit. Who BCC? He's ex-national hill climb champion, so yeah, a bit of Palmares there. That's Alex Pritchard on the right hand side in number 23. He currently holds the national record for the road bike 10-mile time trial, and his threshold is well over 400 watts. So there's some strong riders in this bunch. That guy's just going past on the BMC. He was in the third and fourth cat crit race as well, so fair play to other people as well, getting stuck in double race days. I think this guy in the middle there was also in the third and fourth cat, because the fist bump in a minute. I think they're just acknowledging that. Ben, who's behind me, just coming through there on the orange bike. A really good 24-hour TT rider and a very good crit rider. So anyway, right, great riders all around me, but so what? Right, I want to learn how to race better. Fitness is one thing, cornering is another, tactics is another, actually riding a bike in a bunch is another. So I want to keep pushing myself outside my comfort zone to get better. Just now, being around these riders, I'm like, I don't belong here. However, I can try and make it more normal. I need to keep pushing myself and doing this sort of thing. So we are now 4 minutes in, and well, the first lap was pretty fast, but the pain is yet to come. And this is the difference that I'm feeling right now between this and the third and fourth cat is it's just fast all the time. There's no real big lulls. Even when it's easier, we're still moving pretty fast. So I'm just thinking, well, I don't really know what's going to happen. When there are attacks like there are now, I've not got any plans to try and follow anything. All I'm trying to do is hang on. And unfortunately, I find myself right near the back here. It's not ideal, it's not a great position. You see this rider sits up and I'm not entirely sure what's happening, so I just try and close the gap. This is a bit tactical. This rider that's then on my wheel, I could have perhaps sat up and let him tow me back across, but there's no time to hesitate. I've just got to get back to that bunch, and I don't care if I have to put a little bit more energy into it. If I'd have sat up and tried to wait and sit on him to pull me across, we might have both been dropped, and I'm only 5 minutes in and the race cost me a tenner, so I don't want to just stop out that early on. Right, I'm back on the bunch though now, and yeah, what's happening now? Lap times here, a good lap at Darley Moor, or a fast lap for the third and fourth cat, is about 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and those have been my fastest laps ever. I've done some fast races here. I've done some second, third and fourth cat races. I've done the Masters National Champs. I've done some fast races here before, but today absolutely blows it out of the water, both in terms of how hard it was, and as well as how fast we were moving. So it's strung out here, I'm kicking on out of this corner, but this isn't mental hard. Normally now, at this point, in the third and fourth cat, you come to the chicane and things would really ease up. And yes, I've been able to ease off a little bit there, but only for like 3 seconds, and then you're back on it again out of the chicane because people are obviously attacking or pressing on at the front, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, what on earth is happening here? I'm doing 500 watts, 32 miles an hour, only like 2 laps in. It's absolutely nuts. That last lap, that's my fastest lap ever at Darley Moor, 2:53. That is like super fast for me. It's like, I think it's nearly 30 miles an hour, or just under 30 miles an hour. Anyway, right, I've lasted 7 minutes, I've lasted 2 laps, come on, here we go. I'm hoping after a few minutes a break will go, and then I'll be able to just sit in the bunch, and it'll be a little bit easier. But how wrong was I? Keep your eye on the stats because I do keep flicking through the different times. So 9.5 minutes in, so I'm 3 laps in. I'm now just clinging on for dear life. I'm trying to make the most of every little bit of recovery. As soon as it eases up, I'm freewheeling. I'm trying to just get my heart rate down. My max heart rate is about 170 to 175, but I'm feeling a little bit fatigued from having just done a bike race. But I don't know if it affects you too much, just for the type of ride this is. It's just sort of like on off. I think you've got a couple of hours of that in you, provided you've not gone absolutely empty. This is a problem. That corner is a problem for me. That's the sharpest corner, and I'm just losing a metre or two each time. Then I'm having to close it on the exit. I'm 100 kilos, and it takes some accelerating. So when I'm kicking out that corner, it hurts. That next lap was 2:55, so only 2 seconds slower than my fastest ever lap. It is not letting up. It is still on. When I'm kicking out of this corner here, we're doing 27 miles an hour, 28 miles an hour, and we're still doing 500 watts, 600 watts to try and just, I'm not even holding the wheel, am I? I'm like dangling off the bag. 29 miles an hour, 550 watts. This is just nuts, and the whole race is like strung out. There were 33 riders started, and we shelled a few people early on, but the majority of the riders are still there, so you know this clearly isn't too hard for them. I'm absolutely feeling it now, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I hope this eases up a little bit. There's my buddy who's been at the back of me a couple of times as well. Now we're just coming into a bit more of a tailwind section, so this means that there's less of a drafting benefit, but every lap I'm ticking off and thinking, yep, I've made it another lap. Another lap on. The last lap we just had has been a little bit slower. It's not really felt that much easier, to be honest, because the kicks are still hard, but it has slowed down a little bit. And I'm beginning to believe now, right, if I'm 20 minutes in, like, this could be on. I could actually, like, get around this race. When I've done second, third and fourth cat races, I've done a couple this year, it tends to break up about 45, 50 minutes into a 1 hour race when the cracks really start to show. So I'm thinking, well, if it gets to that point and then I get dropped, absolutely fine. So that's what I was hoping for, but from what I'm seeing now, a break has actually just gone up the road, a break of 4 or 5, I think, with Adam Kenway in. I didn't know that at the time, but I think the next time we go past the lap board, there is a board out saying gaps in the break, and they put a little time split up for you. So I didn't know that at the time, but when I saw it, I thought, right, brilliant. That means this bunch is going to ease up a bit, surely. But we just didn't. Right, so unfortunately there was a crash there for a guy at the break actually, but the medics were there straight away and he was all okay, so I heard. So just make sure you reiterate, to play it safe. I'm chasing hard here. That hairpin was not good for me, and I'm still kicking hard, and I'm groaning and moaning and pushing. I'm trying to get super aero. There is a slight headwind down this section, so those riders that are in the line there, see, they're just sort of soft tapping. I'm still doing 300 watts trying to close the gap. I think I should push a little bit harder to close the gap quicker, but when you're on the edge, it's so hard to just find that extra little 10%, and sometimes you just haven't got it. Now we're coming down here, so we're 24 minutes in, and I am believing that I could do this, but it is really hard. It's beginning to really affect me now. That last lap was just over 3 minutes again, so not super fast in this race, but if I was in the third and fourth cat, I'd be like, oh my god, this is on, this is like we're flying. So it's just like resetting that calibration for me. We're just going to go through a chicane and then go to the start finish straight, and this is unfortunately my last lap, but let's break down how and why I get dropped, just fitness aside, because there are a couple of things that I could pick out here where I could do better next time. Firstly this is a bit of a cross headwind here. I should be on that wheel. I need to push harder and get on that wheel and just force myself to do it. I will reap the rewards of the recovery then. I try and carry as much speed as I can through this corner. I'm even pedaling through this corner. If you don't lean the bike over properly, you can keep pedaling through. So there I'm still doing 280 watts, thinking, I can just carry a little bit more speed through, but because those guys corner so well and then just kick on so well out of it, I didn't actually close any gap there. Now, keep an eye on this on the right hand side. There's a rider that's just sat up there. I think that the bunch is sitting up, so I clear my nose and I almost soft tap a little bit there, down to 230 watts. He's sat up and pulling out. I don't know why, if it's mechanical or what. I've then got a gap to try and close, just for that little hesitation. I'm doing 32 miles an hour already. It's 33 miles an hour. It's so hard to increase the speed from that point. That last lap was fast at 2:54, and it's a second slower than my fastest ever lap there. And it's just, this gap is opening, and I'm giving it like everything I've got, but I'm just thinking, I'm coming to this hairpin that I'm notoriously bad at. I just need them to sit up out of this hairpin. I need them to look at each other and ease up a little bit, and then I'll be back on. So I'm still believing, I'm still thinking, right, I can get back on here. I need a good corner. Now, unfortunately, I cut in far too tight here. When I'm not following the other riders, I cut in far too tight, which then slings me wide, and I just lose a bit of pace there every single time. What's that now? 15-20 metres? I'm kicking out the corner though, because I know all the bunch has got to do is sit up, but unfortunately, they're strung out. They're obviously still kicking on. I'm giving it everything I've got, but they're getting further and further away. This is a headwind here as well. I just know at this point now that I'm not going to get back on, and that's the end of my race. But I had a great ride. This is my second race of the day. The organisers, house race team, give you a second race for a tenner if you want to do another race on the same day, which is brilliant. It's got me another bit more training in, a bit more race experience. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing more of this stuff in the future, and yeah, hopefully you got something from that.